Today, the universe speaks directly to you. You know that person on your mind? The one who makes your heart race, but at the same time leaves you confused, lost? Yes, that person. Today, your guardian angel has brought a powerful message about them. It seems there is an energetic mix between you two, a blend of intense desire and painful distance. Do you feel it? The desire to be close, but at the same time a fear of getting too close? This person feels you, feels your presence, and is fighting against this magnetism, this force that is almost impossible to ignore. And you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Want to discover what the universe is trying to tell you about this today? Then, stay with me until the end. If this person were really transparent with you, they would say that there are aspects of this connection that make them feel more alive, stronger, but also keep them cautious. They are beginning to realize that your energy has a unique vibration, different from anything they have ever experienced, and this generates a mix of fascination and discomfort. They feel they are in a kind of will they or won't they game, an unknown territory where their emotions oscillate between excitement and doubt. And this uncertainty, no matter how subtle it may seem, is becoming increasingly evident. You know when everything seems to be going well, but suddenly something seems to hold back, like an invisible barrier? That is exactly what they feel right now. It's not that they don't want to deepen the relationship, actually they do, a lot. But at the same time, they are trying to understand what is so different about you, what makes you so special, so out of the ordinary. And this natural curiosity of theirs mixes with a silent apprehension. She has the impression that you keep a part of yourself locked away, reserved, as if you're protecting something very valuable. And that's what makes her wonder if she really has a place in your world, if there's truly room for her there. She may be waiting for a small sign, a gesture, or a word that indicates you are willing to truly open up, without masks, without fears. And it's exactly this combination of mystery and resistance that makes her feel so involved and at the same time so insecure. There is a strong, almost magnetic connection happening between you two, something that stirs both the mind and the heart. But lately, it seems that something has changed, perhaps an adjustment in the energy that flows between you. This change is subtle, almost imperceptible, but it's there, influencing the way you interact, affecting the dynamic in a way that you might not have noticed yet, but that can be felt in the undertones of every exchange, every look. If you've been thinking about this, know that, at this moment, she sees you as someone she needs to understand better before taking the next step. As if she felt that by getting closer to you, something big would happen, something that could change the course of her life forever. This might be exactly what she desires, a deep wish to dive into the mystery that is you, but at the same time, this change comes with uncertainties, with an almost natural fear of the unknown. She sees you as someone who has the power to transform her reality, and this idea is both exciting and a little scary. There's something fascinating about you, something that makes her want more, to explore every detail, to discover every secret. But for her, there is also that apprehension, that natural hesitation of someone who knows that once the leap is taken, there's no turning back. It's a mix of excitement and caution, a blend of desire and fear for what might come next. You represent a kind of enigma, a transformative force that somehow, she feels she cannot ignore. And it is precisely this uncertainty, this feeling of walking in unfamiliar territory, that makes her want to go slower, look for signs, for guarantees that may never come, because life is made of that, risks, leaps in the dark. What matters is how she decides to deal with this feeling, whether she lets fear dictate her actions or embraces the possibility of something grand happening. She is at a point where her feelings and internal perceptions about you are mixing, creating a mess of emotions that she cannot ignore. There is something about you that makes her think, that makes her question herself. And even without wanting to, she finds herself trying to understand what your true role in her life is. This is where things begin to get complicated because your way of seeing this relationship is completely different from hers. And in her mind, this becomes a gigantic challenge. From her point of view, it is hard not to pay attention to the things that are happening in reality, to what she can see, hear, and touch. But at the same time, she feels something very strong, deep inside, an internal confirmation about your connection, something that goes beyond what is happening around. And it's as if somehow, you started all this, you took the first step to stir her mind and heart. But, as interesting as it is, you feel exactly the same way. It seems that both of you are dancing to the same music, even without realizing it. And now, at this exact moment, you might be full of questions about what is to come. What will happen next? Everything seems to be unfolding in a way that no one expected, as if life has decided to take an unexpected turn and elevate this connection to another level. And it makes you think, it makes you imagine. Because there is a change happening. You will notice that she sees you differently, that something in her has changed in relation to you. This connection, which seemed calm and unhurried, suddenly starts to gain speed, begins to become more intense in the real world. And that intuitive feeling, that premonition that both of you feel, starts to steer the relationship with more strength. You feel it, don't you? This energy, this sensation that something is growing, evolving, taking shape. And it's affecting her in a way she never imagined. If you feel that this person has disappeared, that things are a bit strange, as if she has vanished from the map, that's exactly what's happening. It's not just that she can't talk to you right now. She also feels, in some way, that it's better to keep a bit of distance at this moment. It's as if something inside her is saying she needs space, maybe even because of you, for things to calm down, for her to understand what is happening. The thing is, amidst all of this, she is experiencing a type of awakening. But this awakening is different. It's something that is making her stop in her tracks. She feels that something inside her is changing so intensely that it cannot be ignored, you know? It's like she is transforming into another person. When these things happen, it's not just an internal change, something you feel inside and that's it. No. It affects everything, the way she sees the world, the decisions she makes, the way she relates to those around her. And this transformation, this kind of awakening, comes along with choices that seem inevitable. Once she realizes what is happening, what she is truly feeling, it's as if she can't go back. She can't pretend that nothing has changed. And then, every little piece of her life needs to adjust to this new reality. Maybe that's why she is waiting to get involved with you again. She knows that when this kind of thing happens, when you undergo an awakening like this, everything around you needs to be reevaluated. Everything must be reconsidered. If you've been feeling a kind of electricity in the air, a sense that something big is about to happen in the next few weeks or months, this could mean that the bond between you and this person is much deeper than it appears. Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but something inside her is awakening in an intense way, stirring her emotions, her thoughts, her mind. This energy is so powerful that it makes it impossible for her to stop thinking about you too, about the possibilities, about what lies ahead. It's as if she is trying to understand whether this feeling pushes her forward or makes her fall back. But one thing you can be sure of, something is going to change. Things aren't going to stay the way they are now. This change will largely depend on how she deals with all this, on how the emotions unfold, on what she decides to do with the new perceptions she is having about you. Because somehow, it's as if this person has called this situation to herself. Maybe she is seeking clarity to understand what lies between the two of you, what exists behind this bond that in some way affects her so deeply. So you must be wondering, what is she going to do? What will be the next step? It seems that she herself is in a dilemma, seeking answers, trying to understand where this connection is leading. And the curious thing is that this answer is not just anywhere, but rather between the two of you. There is a fundamental answer that she has been searching for so long and that is directly connected to you. So if you feel that something is in the air, as if there were a different energy around, pay attention. This person is in a moment of discovery, and what she will do next could change everything. She is emotionally involved, invested, and it's as if she is starting to question your future together, how this story will unfold from now on. It might all depend on one move, one decision, one choice that has yet to be made. There's something about this connection that doesn't completely fit the patterns we're used to. It seems that there is an energy that is impossible to ignore, a kind of tension, almost as if the feelings are waves that come and go. This person seems to be stuck in this cycle of trying to understand what she is really feeling, and you can notice this through the mixed signals she gives. Sometimes she comes closer, sometimes she pulls away, and this oscillation ends up generating an uncertainty that is frustrating for you. But perhaps on the other side, there is an internal battle even greater than you can imagine. The truth is that this person thinks of you much more than they show. It might be that they are constantly trying to fit the pieces of a complex emotional puzzle that, so far, they can't solve. It's not easy for them because this connection deeply affects what they feel and what they believed they knew about themselves. There is something inside them that is being revealed, something that was previously hidden, something they never thought they would have to face, and that is exactly what is happening now. They are awakening to these intense feelings, to this reality that until now, they might have avoided or ignored. This person may seem distant, but that could simply be because they are trying to understand all of this on their own, in their own way, in their own time. This awakening is happening at the center of their heart, and it makes them extremely vulnerable. It might be scary for them to realize how much they care, how much they feel, how connected they are to you. And it's precisely for this reason that they might pull away, because it is too much to process, too intense. Therefore, if they haven't approached you yet, it's not because they don't feel something for you, but because they are trying to find balance in this emotional roller coaster. The distance, in this case, is not a lack of interest, but a desperate attempt to organize the internal chaos that this connection has caused. So even if you don't understand all the reasons behind their actions, know that, on the inside, they are going through an awakening, a deep understanding of what they feel and how these feelings affect them. Deep down, this person knows there's something special between you two. They might not be ready to admit it out loud, or even to themselves, but this process is happening, even if slowly. And while they try to understand all of this, perhaps the best thing to do is to let time take its course, because somehow, this person is thinking of you much more than they let on. What surprised you was realizing that you entered her life as a kind of answer to something she has been facing in her previous relationships. When we talk about love, we are dealing with the most powerful energy that exists, that vibration that really moves the world. But at the same time, we know that love can be perceived in very different ways. There is a lower version of this energy, which is not love itself, but rather how it is seen and interpreted by people, each in their own way. And what becomes clear is that this person brought a darker side of herself to your connection, maybe even projected it onto you, and that's why it seems to be overflowing in this relationship. What makes all the difference is the way you deal with her, how you interact, how you behave during this period when you are apart or even when you are together talking. All of this is confirming important things, not just about you, but about the very energy that involves this connection. It's noticeable that this person is going through an intense transformation, from the inside out, because of what you are living. It's as if your presence is changing the way she sees the world, and that has illuminated the energy of this connection in a unique way. These are things she had never considered before meeting you. It's almost as if you are a key piece, helping her unlock parts of her mind that no one had managed to before, and now she is wondering what comes next. You may not even be aware of this, whether due to time, distance, or the space between you. But this connection is becoming very symbolic for her, something she is still trying to fully understand. It's like a journey she needs to embark on alone, without your direct presence. This is extremely important to her because, in some way, she doesn't want this energy, this process, to end up affecting what you have. It's as if she is in repair mode, trying to fix things within herself before bringing that into your relationship. It seems like a process, step by step, and she feels she needs to deal with certain things on her own before deciding how to move forward with you and take this connection to the next level. Maybe you are wondering what her next move will be, what she really wants, or if this distancing is something permanent. But what it seems is that she is in a process of deep reflection and self-awareness, trying to understand how this connection can evolve without repeating past mistakes. There is a sense of uncertainty and surprise when it comes to you, something that awakens curiosity and makes this person look at you differently. She has always seen her relationships as the only place in life where she had absolute control, where she truly felt in command. For her, this area has always been where she was sure she could decide whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, however she wanted. She believed relationships were the territory where she had the power to choose, to make all the decisions. And look, if you recognize yourself in this point, you can already write Amen in the comments, because today's message is just beginning. Moving forward, the fact is that this person always felt they had an advantage in this game, that they knew very well how to deal with the field of emotions, always aware of their power of choice. But since you appeared, everything began to change. They were caught by surprise, not even knowing where it came from. They never expected that someone like you could turn their world upside down. And the most intriguing thing of all is that what they are feeling now is not the result of something you directly did or said. No, what they are experiencing is the pure and simple consequence of being connected to you. This change, this awakening that they are feeling within their heart, is a completely different process from anything they have ever experienced. They feel exposed, vulnerable, like never before. And the interesting part is that it is not something planned, it's not something they were able to foresee. It's as if you have activated something in them, something they never even knew existed. This opening of the heart, this awakening to new possibilities, is something that is deeply affecting them. They thought they knew everything, that they had everything under control, but now being close to you, they realize that there is much to learn. They are discovering that the heart is a much more complex space than they imagined. For this person, the sensation is as if the heart space is expanding, as if there is a real opening, a release of something deep. When the energy begins to rise and reach the heart, it seems that the ego, that old controlling friend, starts to dissolve. The identity that was once clear and solid begins to change, as if the heart is gaining a life of its own, as if it is more receptive and open to everything that is love. But for this person, it is an experience that defies any expectation. It is not the typical feeling of warm and gentle acceptance that many talk about. It is an experience full of contrasts, almost an internal confrontation. It's as if, at the same time the heart opens, it closes to what does not resonate with its new frequency. And this can be disconcerting. Suddenly, she begins to feel a need to distance herself from certain people, places, and even things that once seemed so familiar and comfortable. It's as if in this opening, everything that does not align with her truest essence starts to feel strange, distant, even undesirable. This expanding energy can be so intense that even her physical body begins to react, to reject what does not vibrate at the same frequency. Maybe you are wondering if this should be a cause for concern, especially when this person is far from you. The answer is no. All of this is part of a deeper process, something that goes beyond what we can see or touch. It's as if, for her, everything becomes secondary, except the connection with you. All of this will continue until she reaches a more stable union, an internal harmony that leads her to a state of constant peace by your side. It's important to understand that this rejection of everything around is not a distancing from you, but rather a journey of return to herself, an adjustment of energies that are realigning for a deeper, truer connection. She is, in fact, preparing for a union that goes far beyond what the mind can comprehend, something only the heart can truly feel and recognize. This transformation, as frightening as it may seem, is a necessary step for true love to flourish. And on this path, everything that no longer serves, everything that is small or limited, will naturally move away. You might think that she is handling everything calmly, that things are easy for her, but that's not quite the case. She feels. And she feels even more than it seems, because she has been trained not to show her emotions so easily. But it is precisely in these moments of tension, of challenges, that her heart opens in a different way. What really draws attention now is how this connection you both have has been totally unexpected, full of surprises. For her, this awakening and inner growth always started in the physical world, in concrete events, before making sense inwardly, in the spiritual. And that's why you notice that, in moments of distance, this connection intensifies even more. Maybe you are already receiving an avalanche of signs from her, because for her, there is great power in absence. It's as if in the lack of the person she trusts most to comfort her and to whom she could vent, a whirlwind of emotions arises: frustration, repression, doubt, but mainly anger. And if we look at this from a spiritual perspective, anger is a very potent emotion. Honestly, when talking about manifesting desires, creating things, using one's own energy to bring changes to the real world, anger has a transformative power. It is a spark that accelerates processes, that can make things happen surprisingly quickly and unexpectedly. It is as if her energy is channeling all this intensity, this lack, this emptiness to build something new, something bigger. So instead of seeing this anger as something negative, how about viewing it as a motor, a drive that pushes forward? After all, absence makes the heart grow fonder, makes the universe move in mysterious ways. And who knows, maybe all this strength she feels is actually the most direct path to an even greater transformation between you two. Because when things seem most out of control, that's when real power begins to act. So if you've been wondering what's really going on in her head, the truth is she's going through a real awakening. One of those experiences that stirs everything inside, triggering a series of intense emotions. And that's exactly why she feels she needs to deal with it alone. She realizes that the path she's on is different from yours and feels that understanding that is part of her own journey, in her own way. And what's happening now is that, little by little, she has started to see you as someone who is always running away. Her feelings towards you are at an absurd intensity right now, and that's precisely why she decided to distance herself, create this separation. Something you did recently turned the dynamic between the two of you upside down. From the beginning, you put this person in a position where she had to chase after you, and that had a huge impact. From the moment she crossed paths with you, she knew you would have a transformative effect on her. But she never imagined how, when, or why it would happen. To be quite honest, she believed she was a rock, immutable, with her beliefs about relationships and love firmly established. Nothing personal against you, but this reveals a lot about how she views love and connections in general. Now, even though she will never admit it to your face, there are many things she simply never felt the need to talk to you about. Things about what she expected, about what both of you expected from this connection. She truly believed you would follow the path she was outlining, without question. But what happened was exactly the opposite. You challenged her, made her start questioning herself, her own feelings and thoughts. And then came the major turning point. She began to wonder what exactly made you pull away. What was it about her that triggered this reaction from you? This left her so confused that she opened up to hearing opinions from others, something she probably never imagined she would do. She sought advice, tried to understand what was happening with herself and, of course, with the two of you. You noticed that, right? This person came into your life, and suddenly everything changed. It wasn't just a common connection, it was something much deeper, almost visceral. When you were faced with her energy, with her way of being, your protective instinct was activated, as if you needed to guard your heart from something that, at the same time, seemed both frightening and irresistible. Yes, she noticed. She noticed your way of closing off a little, perhaps out of fear of giving too much of yourself, of revealing something that is kept under lock and key. And this intrigued her because she started to realize that maybe you weren't exactly who she thought you were. She found herself thinking, is he like this with everyone? Or is there something about me that made him act this way? The fact is that, against all expectations, you made her feel something different, something she did not expect to feel. And this made her reconsider many things. Because before you, she dealt with connections in an almost automatic way, you know? A pattern of behavior she wasn't even aware she was following. But with you, everything turned upside down. All of a sudden, what seemed certain became doubtful. You might not even believe how this person, at some point in the past, started looking for you with such intensity. It seems that suddenly, they realized they needed to understand what they were feeling, what was happening inside them. But something made them stop, take a step back. And look, this wasn't by chance. Not at all. This person is starting to awaken, to realize that what you have is very different from anything they have ever experienced. All of this is touching the depths of their heart, activating feelings that perhaps they have never felt before. Now imagine this, they begin to see you in a completely new way. Not just as someone they connected with, but as a soul that speaks directly to theirs. And it's in this moment of separation, of distance, that everything seems to become clear to them. As if a light is turning on and revealing the truth that was always there, but they couldn't see. Being close to you, connecting with your energy, brought so many things to the surface for them. Sometimes it may have even caused some resistance, that fear of the unknown, of what is too strong. But now, everything is making sense to them in a much deeper way. They are understanding that what you have is rare, it is special, it's like two souls have found each other and recognized each other after a long time. And that's where the magic lies. This phase you are going through is not just a coincidence or a stroke of fate. It's almost as if the universe is confirming to this person, in every way, what they already felt deep down. Because they know, in some way, that the dynamics between you are powerful, that this connection has a meaning that goes beyond what the eyes can see or what the mind can understand rationally. So if you are feeling this energy, this whirlwind of emotions, know that there's someone on the other side feeling all of this as well. Perhaps even more intensely. Because when two souls meet in this way, it's impossible to deny the strength of this encounter. It's as if every piece of the puzzle is fitting perfectly, and what seemed confusing or uncertain suddenly becomes completely clear. From the very first moment, that person felt something different about the energy you radiate. Now, they are beginning to realize what's really happening inside their heart. They understand that they can plant seeds and make you react in ways you might not even expect. This happens almost effortlessly because you are indeed very different. And because of this, it's natural for you to easily absorb the emotions around you, especially when your heart is involved. This person knows how risky it is for you to open up your heart, because when you do, you tend to give a lot of yourself to the other person. And if this connection isn't with the right person, the impact on your life can be enormous. The fact that you pulled away made this person start to reflect on themselves. The emotions you stirred in them were intense, and it is precisely this intensity that allowed for this self-analysis. If there hadn't been such a strong chemistry between you two, this reflection likely wouldn't have happened. Now this person realizes that you did something few can do, you changed the dynamic of the connection between you. If at any point you wondered what this person really thinks about you, here's the answer. They see you as someone unique. You stand out. And perhaps most importantly, they now understand that you possess a rare emotional intelligence. They know that love is a sensitive topic for many, but the fact that you keep your guard up doesn't drive them away. On the contrary, it attracts them even more. Emotional intelligence is an extremely attractive quality, and it is making this person increasingly determined to get closer to you in a deeper way. It seems that there is a promise of a new beginning in the air, something unexpected, whether in this specific connection or in relation to love in your life in general. If you are holding on to any negative emotion, this is the message your angels want you to hear. If you decide to release what you are holding on to, something better will come to occupy that space, something that will fit perfectly into your life. This message was for you. Does it make sense for your situation? If so, leave your comment. I only accept the love that is good for me. Allow your spirit to absorb these words and feel them resonate deeply within you. The universe wishes the best for you and will ensure a positive outcome, no matter what your choice is. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and stay tuned for the important message awaiting you in the next video. May God and the universe illuminate your steps with peace, love, and faith. Amen.